the topic of community and compassion that I chose for this website and this project really came from my heart. Uh, if you don't know me, then you wouldn't know that in high school, I went several times to Los Angeles on some short term mission trips and worked with a community and a church out there, Christ Church of Highland Park. Not a big church, but very in touch with their community roots, very in touch with the several different cultures, ethnic groups. There's just a great diversity in that community, and the church reflected that. And they weren't a huge church, but they were a church that were really in touch with the needs of the people around them, and that really touched my heart. And then coming here to Lincoln, I got involved with the Quest Ministry, which is a ministry to unchurched and underprivileged youth here in the area. And what I found is a small town of Lincoln of about 16,000 has a great percentage of kids that don't fit the mold of of sophisticated or learned or educated or upright kids, which kind of baffled me. And it made me look more into Lincoln. And what I found is that for a small town, Lincoln has some things I don't think you know about it. I don't think that most college students would understand that the community of Lincoln actually used to be on and popping about 30, 40 years ago in the 60s and 70s. It was awesome. It was a major manufacturing town. If you'll go and drive around Lincoln, out 121 towards Pulaski, or taking Kickapoo like you're going to go out to Bloomington, you'll find two or three uh, big warehouses, big factories that are just boarded up and shut down. Because back before the United States and major um, corporations and manufacturing companies outsourced all their manufacturing, it was done in the United States, of course, and Lincoln was a town that did that. Right on the trains, track up to Chicago and St. Louis, it was a perfect place to do that. So it had a lot of jobs. And not only that, Lincoln had the largest mental health hospital, which you can see if you try to go out 5th Street and go down to take 55 south to Springfield. You'll see this big facility of 9, 10 different buildings that housed hundreds of mentally ill patients, and it was jobs for thousands. Um, and back about 25 years ago, the government shut it down and just boarded up the buildings. And as a result of that, all the jobs were lost for people that lived in Lincoln and around. And for the mentally ill that couldn't go back to their family, they were just released. If they couldn't be put in another area, they're just released back into town. So Lincoln was overpopulated with people without a job. They're overpopulated with people that weren't capable of getting a job, and that has just grown since that period. Uh, my personal view of Lincoln is that it's on a steady decline, and that if Lincoln really isn't careful, over the next 15, 20 years, it'll see its population slowly decrease before it becomes a ghost town. There's not a lot of things here in Lincoln. There's not a lot of ways to make money. And there's not a lot of people here that are willing to really get down and help renovate, restore, and redeem this community because of some of its hardships. And what I think you wouldn't realize is the rampant poverty that I think is just stretching over Lincoln as the recession and the economy is getting hit more and more. If you were to go straight out from LCU to go to Keokuk or Woodlawn, if you look straight across at that T, you'd see a couple basketball hoops. And over there is one of the larger Logan County public housing areas. It's called Centennial Courts. And that's not the only one here in Lincoln. Actually, over behind CVS is what they call the high rise. It's the big blue high rise building full of apartments with a couple more apartment buildings over there. All of those are public housing here in Lincoln. And the Logan County Housing Authority has set up shop here in Lincoln because out of Logan County, Lincoln is the one town that they do most of their work with regarding public housing because it's in such a sore state. And working with the Quest Ministry, I've got to see some of the living standards, some of the living situations that the youth and just people in Lincoln here are subject to. Living below or around the poverty line has placed people to live in situations that I don't think that most of us would have our dogs live in. And that's just, it's hard for me to see. And it's hard for me to see knowing that we've got, what, 700 undergraduate students at Lincoln Christian University training to be future Christian leaders in America. And we, I don't know if all of us really realize the state of the community that we live in. A lot of us will be here for 4, maybe 5 years. And I know a lot of us are here looking forward what the rest of our life is going to be and preparing ourselves. But part of my project, part of my heart, and part of what I wanted to challenge people with this website and with what I've learned is, how are we making those 4 years, our time here in Lincoln, how are we making our Christian community, a lot of times, I've heard a lot of sermons about unity and unity on campus and unity among our Christian brothers and sisters here in Lincoln, and how gossip and different things kind of ravage us. And my proposition is this, to kind of fix both problems in essence. I think service could be our unifying force, our unifying matter. I think that, and I hope that as you guys learn and you read through this website and you kind of open your mind to what the community of Lincoln is like, I hope that this would propel people to get out, to not just be stuck on 100 Campus View Drive, stuck there every day of the week, that we realize that this community of Lincoln is calling out, needs us as Christian brothers and sisters to come in to help them, help redeem and restore the community. The one thing that I won't tell you today, the one thing that you won't find out by reading this website, exactly what you need to do in Lincoln. I've got some ideas and I would love to share them with you. I would love to be a part of a growing movement that said, Lincoln, you've given us so much. You have been the place where so many Christian leaders have come to learn and have grown into the people that they've become. Let us give back to you. I have some crazy ideas about what we can do to really make Lincoln a community that was touched by the university that was here, that was touched by Lincoln Christian University. I have some ideas to say that nobody in this community could say that they didn't know somebody from Lincoln Christian University, because we were so active in changing, developing, and loving the community that our fingerprints and our work couldn't be subtracted from anything else that was done in the community. But the challenge and what I want you guys to look at in this website, and what I want you to read and really think about, is what is Christian community. A lot of times we focus inwardly on our brothers and sisters, on let's be a community of Christians. And what I want to expand your thinking with today and with this website is, I don't really think that that's exactly what we need to go for. I think Christian community is being a part of where you live. It's being a part of the community in which we're a part of, being at Lincoln Christian University. And that community is being touched by Christians. So that's a little background of Lincoln. That's what I'm kind of going with this website, and I really hope that as you're listening and reading and going through the website, that you'll be thinking, is this something that I want to be a part of? Is this something that I could see myself doing?